Odar. I've been a member of this church for about 10 years or so, and I've been asked to talk a little bit about Crossroads and how our vision came to be where we actually purchased the property and what our intent might be as we go forward. I just wanted to start by saying that back in roughly 2003, our church put together a futuring committee, and I was part of that along with, I think, Martha Brubaker, Lil Falk, and a couple other. Vicki Mason was on the team, and we got together and started talking about where our church was and where our church could be and should be. And soon we decided that it wasn't necessarily programming that we needed to work on, but actually growing the church and reaching out to more people. And so in doing so, the future became expansion. And so as we looked at expanding, we knew that our 2.5 acres of land that we're currently on was nowhere near large enough to grow a church. The biggest problem we have is that our parking situation, and we had nowhere to really expand that parking. So we started looking around the city of Portage for other vacant land pieces, and our initial focus was to find something south of US 6, which appeared to be the area at the time where the growth in Portage was headed. And as we went through that, we started looking all over the city of Portage. And the Curry farm at the time, which is now known as Crossroads, was available for sale. We started looking at that. Martha Brubaker and I are local real estate people, and so we started looking a little bit serious into the Curry farm. And it's kind of interesting to know that the background of this property, it was obviously a large farm at one time, and back in the 1955 when the toll road came through here, it may have actually split the farm in half, because if you look at the buildings, the big red barn and some of the other cattle buildings, there's a lot of buildings on this small 24 acres. So looking back into the 50s and 60s, from what we understand, this was Bob Curry's place where he worked on automobiles, and the Silver Barn, as we call it, had a lot of automobile parts and equipment in it. After we purchased the property, we found a lot of miscellaneous parts scattered around that we picked up and threw away. We also found several buildings that have been taken down. There's a building here next to us by the basketball court, what we call the basketball court, and the picnic area. There was actually a building on that slab. There was a building right next to the rear of the home that was all overgrown. That was the tool shed, and so we took that down. At some point in time, there was a second home on the property, and maybe it was the original home that was directly to the south of what's now the farmhouse. We found evidence of a foundation there and a sidewalk that actually went out. So this property has a lot of history. It's got a lot of potential. When we purchased the property back in 2005, it was the spring of 2005, it was interesting because the farmhouse was in total disrepair. We spent probably 3 or 4 or 5 months doing nothing but gutting the kitchen and the bathroom, pulling out carpeting, redoing a lot of the plumbing and electrical, and we've significantly improved the farmhouse, as most of you know. We've also cleaned up the grounds, put in a prayer path, baseball field. We're constantly trying to improve the property, and it's become, quite a passion to be over here and be part of all of this. Looking into the future, we certainly have big plans of connecting the old church property with this property through building a roadway, and that's the next step. And once that step is made, we have a true connection where we can actually get people back and forth safely. Then the step beyond that will be to build a new church, and that's really why we bought this property. And our hope is that you all give it a lot of thought, a lot of prayers, and that God will eventually lead us to that. However, whichever path we take, we know that we'll get there. So just wanted to share that with everybody today. Thank you.